boy Terence Crawford got back into the ring after about a year off.
13 months actually.
13 months. Okay, 13 months off. We saw him 2-3 weeks ago. He was in WWE punching guys and doing some stuff with them. He got back in the ring. He ended up winning his fight against
Israil Madrimov.
Israil Madrimov. Yeah, Madrimov presented some complications for him. He was on him almost the whole fight, but Terence ended up pulling that out. What did you think of the fight, and how did Terence look to you coming back?
Hey, if you're a casual boxing fan, maybe that fight wasn't fun for you, but that was a damn good high-level boxing
Yeah,
chess
I
match.
thought so.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, they weren't like big, power punches where a guy got rocked or got knocked down, but it was just fun to see Israel make it awkward for Terence Crawford, who's known for making life difficult for other opponents. And yeah, a lot of feints, a lot of head action. And the one thing that really impressed me about Israel, whenever Crawford got like a combination going, maybe a one punch here or two punch combination, Israel always made sure to hit him back to make him, okay, back up, bro. You're not gonna get a 4 or 5 punch combination on me. You're not gonna get in a rhythm. So he was very shifty, very crafty, and he had enough pop to just make him kind of go back a little bit. It wasn't a lot of power from Israel. And I'll say this, whoever's screaming robbery, Eddie Hearn, by the way,
Oh my God!
yeah, he went on a rant. Israel just didn't do enough for me. Crawford was at least a little more active. He was the one of being aggressive, moving forward, and but it's difficult for both guys because Crawford tends to be the counter puncher. He's the one that's being patient and thinking about how to break you down. So they're kind of both doing the same thing. But Crawford was more of an aggressive fighter. He has a little more power, and his power didn't really carry in the new weight class. That was one of my concerns because he was a smaller welterweight, but the skill is still there. Being a ring general is still there. He still has good footwork. Hey, but shout out to Israel, man. I thought it was 115, 113. Very difficult for Terence Crawford, and that's also kind of expected after you've been away from the ring for a year. You're now 35 years old. You're not in the middle of your prime anymore. Hey, but nothing but respect for Israel, and you're the one that's been telling me, Fernando, hey, people are saying don't sleep on him. I kind of slept on the guy, so he has my respect now.
Yeah, no, when certain boxing people speak, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll listen. And they said, don't sleep on this guy. This guy's a problem. So I was definitely impressed with him. Like you said, the head movement, the way he kind of moved, and he picked his spots, and I thought he did a good job against Crawford. And obviously Crawford may have had some ring rust. We all get it, but it was a good fight. I thought it was entertaining. The only thing I didn't like was the long layoffs in between multiple fights. What did you think about the Pitbull Cruz fight?
Uh, yeah, Pitbull was a little sluggish, and I know some people were like, "Hey, maybe Pitbull did enough." I didn't think so. I wasn't like fully scoring the fights. I won't say too much, but the other guy he brought it, and he had a big upset, and it kind of sucks because I wanted Pitbull to get another crack at Gervonta Davis. That might not happen anymore. Pitbull also, he wasn't as aggressive. He wasn't like the last 3 or 4 fights after Gervonta. He was just dominant. He looked fresh
Yeah.
out there. Maybe he didn't have the same training camp, the same work ethic for this one in LA. It was pretty hot out there too, so maybe he was a little sluggish because of that. But answering your first part of the question, that layoff after the coming event with Pitbull, to the stalling of whatever conversations Eddie Hearn wanted to have, to the Eminem show, to the triple anthem, like it took them like 90 minutes after the
That
Pitbull
was
fight
wild.
to get the main event. It was almost 10 p.m. West Coast time. Imagine you're on the East Coast trying to watch Terence Crawford and it's 1 a.m. Obviously, doesn't compare to Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney at midnight East Coast time. We were there for that. But shout out to Riyadh season. The Saudis are bringing us a good card with entertainment. But if you kind of minimize some of the side shows, they should be okay.
Jorge's going to get on me for this one. He'll laugh at this one. You know what the best part about the whole fight card was? The cameraman deserves everything. Kate Beckinsale looks beautiful.
I had no
Holy
idea. I had no
smokes.
idea it was her until somebody mentioned it on the broadcast. I was like,
Oh, I kept I was like, is that Kate Beck? And then I saw her, and I'm like, oh. And then I remembered she liked young guys. I'm like, dang. I'm like, now I know why the Saudis wanted to keep me out of there. That's one of my. I'll shoot my shot no matter where I'm at. No, I'm just kidding about all that. But Gilbert, just what do you think is next for Terence Crawford? Like, do you think that a fight against Canelo? Because his manager said, or his trainer said after that. What did he say? I had it right here. Bomac says Canelo is too strong and too big. So,
Wow.
do you think I have an audio? But I mean, you're at the airport, so I didn't want to play it because I don't know if you could, if you want to hear it. But let me play it real quick then.
All right.
Here is what his trainer had to say about fighting Canelo. Here we go.
Probably box a little bit more. Probably box a little bit more, you know. But towards the end, I told brother, I said, hey man, step to this motherfucker. You know, step to him and push him. Shit. Well, I don't know if you can do that to Canelo or not because he's too big, strong. So we'll see.
Basically, he said Canelo's too big and too strong. So, I mean,
I
yeah.
like it.
So,
It's good honesty from Bomac, and I think that fight really showed us that this is why weight classes matter. This is why I almost like lose it when casuals talk about, hey, this guy should fight that guy without knowing the weight class. And Terence Crawford was more of a 147 guy, moved up to 154, and now you're asking him to go up to 168. Like, forget about Canelo Alvarez coming down. Those days are over. He's not this young kid who wants a mega fight. No,
no.
he's the one that says it on my terms. You come up to my weight class. He's undisputed at 168. He has all the belts. So imagine going up 14 pounds when you're already small. Your power couldn't really do much against Israil Madrimov.
He's going to knock you out.
Yes, and Canelo is, maybe not as shifty or doesn't have as good as feints as Israil, but he has better counter game, more punching power, and he's bigger. He can smother you. So that could definitely, tire you out for 12 rounds right there. So I think the dream fight is over. Hopefully Canelo Alvarez, but also for Canelo, that hurts his pockets because the Saudis were willing to throw a bunch of money at him for that fight too. So after Berlanga, and if people don't want to pay you, you better go fight David Benavidez. So I saw Berlanga throw the F-bomb at David Benavidez saying, forget that guy, worry about me. I don't know about that, Berlanga. You have to prove it to me in the ring. But that also limits Canelo's options. And also, I don't know where Crawford goes from here, but credit to his team for finding Israil, and because nobody knew the guy. It's like, hey, this guy in the amateur game, like, he really did a bunch of work, and in the amateur game, and he said it in the post ring interview, like, yeah, nobody knew about him, but we did a lot of work on this guy, and we wanted to be tested, and he was. So maybe doing some more homework like that, but it's not big name star power to generate pay-per-views for Crawford.
And I completely agree. It's funny. Canelo was asked today about why he didn't fight David Benavidez in New York, and he said because the people wanted this fight. He said this is for the people. He's like, like Mexico versus Puerto. Yeah, exactly. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. My buddy said in our group chat, JC, and he goes, he's like, did you hear no clapping? No clapping at all. Like nobody got excited about that from Canelo. Real quick, Vic is asking if you think Pitbull Cruz is a one-trick guy.
A little bit. He reminds me of Sean Porter, friend of the show, where he kind of brings his head down a little bit and uses his forehead, but like he wants to stifle you. He wants to smother you. He wants to kind of be all aggressive, but no skill, no combinations, no footwork. It's just kind of like this. The guys, people fight like that, but after like 7 rounds, you get tired of it because he has good cardio. That cardio was not there on Saturday, so that's why it makes me wonder what the work ethic was. So to answer the question, he is a little bit of a one-trick pony, but he is aggressive. And those last 3 or 4 fights, he has some power too. He was knocking out people after the Gervonta fight, but that shows you the levels of competition from Tank to the other guys.